The 2010s and early 2020s have brought forth a great amount of female rappers to the mainstream media, each with their own personality, style, and musical approach. The variance in modern female rappers allows fans to find an artist that they truly resonate with and naturally gravitate towards. While the late 2010s saw a boom in the overall number of female rappers within the game, nowadays it feels like some of them are seeking success in other avenues outside of music, leaving their fans without new music. But why are so many rap girls neglecting their music careers in favor of various brand deals and other ventures? Today, we're going to take a look into the female rapper to influencer pipeline that is becoming more and more prevalent. Many of these girls initially begin their careers through music, and that's how we, the general public, even get to discover who these girls are in the first place. As they become more and more successful within their music careers, it seemingly feels like we begin to hear less music from them, and instead we begin to see more brand deals, we begin to see them taking on new ventures. And don't get me wrong, it's great to see these girls receiving new opportunities outside of their music, but it seems like they neglect some of the things that got them to that spot to begin with. More and more girls within the rap world are falling victim to this, but in my opinion, the most prevalent girls are like Saweetie, Young Miami, Ruby Rose, and even a little bit of Cardi too nowadays. Now, I know these girls drop music from time to time, but it feels like they themselves have become incredibly inconsistent with making music after receiving success outside of it. Sweetie, I think, is a great example of this. Sweetie is someone I always see with some type of brand deal or sponsorship. I mean, she obviously had the McDonald meal, which was very popular, and she was just like the poster girl for the 49ers for the Super Bowl. Like, that girl really knows how to work her communications degree. While I always see Sweetie marketing something, it feels like her music is kinda on the back burner. I know she's still releasing music, but sometimes listening to her newer music feels like she made it out of obligation opposed to because she genuinely wanted to. Another phenomenon I noticed with this pipeline is that while these girls initially begin their careers making music, once they venture off and try new outlets, they actually become more popular for their new outlet compared to their music. I think an example of this is Young Miami from the City Girls. Now, I know Miami is gearing up for her Yams era as she released her 50/50 not too long ago, but it's undeniable that she has seen much more success and praise for her talk show Carisha Please than she has for her music, both solo as well as within the City Girls. I remember when the City Girls were coming up, Miami really wasn't viewed as, the most skilled rapper, but she was able to redeem herself and grow a following by displaying her personality through Carisha Please. But much like Sweetie, it feels like Young Miami has grown a little inconsistent when it comes to her music. But she is seemingly teasing a new era, so we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Will Miami give us a full blown musical era? Is this solely another cash grab before we start up Carisha Please again? So, Ruby Rose is another girl I think is also in a similar boat as Young Miami, as she initially began garnering a following due to her music. But when she eventually joined OnlyFans, Ruby Rose seemingly became much more successful and popular on that app than she ever was with her music. Hell, I even know people who were completely unaware that she had a music career and genuinely thought she only had a following due to OnlyFans. And don't get me wrong, Ruby is definitely still dropping music, but is it an unpopular opinion to say that she's no longer associated with making music? I genuinely feel as of 2024, Ruby Rose is much more known for her content and presence online opposed to the music she makes. Now, I'm all about each of these girls getting their bag. I mean, I will never knock someone for that. But honestly, I just don't understand the phenomenon of ditching your music career once you start making money outside of music. And to be honest, I don't really think it has to do with them being quote unquote too busy to do both because look at Lotto. She always finds herself in a brand deal or sponsorship, and she still continues to be extremely consistent when she's releasing music. And I'm not gonna lie, I do see a little bit of this quote unquote influencer phenomenon kind of rubbing off on Cardi B. As the years go on, Cardi is releasing less and less music and partaking in more and more brand deals. She herself has already spoken about not necessarily making music for the music itself, but more so for the money, so I guess this isn't surprising. So, in my opinion, I honestly feel like too many of these girls are either scared to drop music, either due to the pressure of wanting to do well, or they just are straight up not passionate about not making music, and they never were. I think many of them, they feel like they can create something that can compare to their previous work, so it's easier just to quit while you're ahead. Honestly, it's a shame to see so many girls use this culture and industry as a way to get a following that's invested in their music just to turn around and do something completely unrelated. But ultimately, this is simply how I feel. But I'm curious, what do you guys think? Please feel free to share. Why do you think so many female rappers turn in their music careers to become glorified influencers?